a year ago.
A.J. Guyton is clearly a guy that can cause problems for the Illini. He's very good at taking you off the dribble. He can create offense for himself. I think that makes him very dangerous in this game.
Head coach Bob Knight is in his 27th season at Indiana. He's won over 600 games for the Hoosiers, 700 overall in his head coaching career. For the Fighting Illini of Illinois, Kevin Turner comes off the biggest game of his career.
Turner's their leading scorer at over 17 points a game, and coming off the 32-point performance against UCLA where he had 8 3-pointers in that game, he got the 32 in a very interesting fashion. 18 minutes, he scored. 22 minutes, he was pretty much inactive.
But he did hit 6 of 8 from downtown. Lon Kruger in his second season at Illinois has led 4 different programs, including this one, to 20-win seasons. Keys to the game that Dodge, keys to victory. Well, let's take a look at Indiana.
Well, first of all, Indiana got crushed on the board against the Iowa team the other day at home. They've got to improve in that area. And when you're on the road, it's very good to get off to a good start with percentage shooting. Their percentage shooting has been down of late.
The Dodge keys to victory for Illinois.
Well, Illinois has got to have that balancing act offensively that we talked about. They're a small team, but they can't be a perimeter team. They've got to have a presence in the paint. And you know what, Wayne? When you're in the bakery, turnovers are great. But inside of gymnasium, you'd better take care of that basketball. This team is averaging 18 turnovers per game over the last 5. That won't get it done.
No, and especially you mentioned it with the seniors, you would expect a lot better in terms of that regard. Well, the series, Indiana leads it overall, but Illinois won last year 85-71. Now, barring a meeting in the Big Ten tournament coming up in Chicago at the end of the season, this will be the only regular season meeting between these two teams. Indiana and the Crimson and Cream. And you get a look at the Hoosier huddle. And there is head coach Bob Knight. It's, again, a shocking loss when you consider at home and the way they lost to the Iowa Hawkeyes, 89-76 on Wednesday. Hoosiers out-rebounded by a hefty margin. Meanwhile, Illinois last Tuesday at UCLA got down by 18 points before storming back, and at one juncture had a 3-point lead in that game out of Pauley Pavilion, eventually falling 74-69 to the 9th-ranked team in the country, UCLA.
We'll watch how this game starts early. I look for Indiana to really get up, pressure the passing lanes, because they know they're going against an Illinois team that doesn't handle the ball quite well.
Charlie Miller getting a start for Indiana here today. He's a senior out of Miami, Florida. He'll be matched up against Hester in the early going of this one. Jared G. for Illinois, the home whites, and Andre Patterson, and we're underway. Illinois controls the opening tap. Heldman with Jared G. on the wing. There's Johnson flashing up high. Jerry Hester with it right now.
And there's the man-to-man defense that we talked about. You'll see that constantly from Indiana.
This is Turner for 3. Good position by Jared G. for that rebound on Patterson.
Jared G. lost some weight in the offseason, so he's a much quicker player, but he continues to be a very strong player, so you really have to find him if you're Indiana and block him out.
Ball tipped away. It'll belong to Illinois. 23 to go on the shot clock. Opening minute, no score here in Champaign.
Again, we talk about Indiana getting hammered on the glass against Iowa the other day. They were out-rebounded by 21. Already, Illinois has an offensive rebound in this game, so it has to be a concern.
Johnson getting past Miller. Hester was trying to load it, couldn't find the trigger.
Good patience, but 10 seconds on the shot clock now for the Illini.
Heldman looking for room. Johnson at the foul line.
Whoa. Now, that's not something he really likes to do. That is not his favorite shot, Johnson, but he had to shoot that one because the shot clock was winding down.
And Greg, they've been looking to him for more points in his scoring this year than last year. He's an intangibles player. He does a lot of the little things well for a team.
And there he tried to pick up an offensive foul on Patterson, who was looking to take him baseline, but more on Johnson. You know, he's a good player in terms of movement, gets himself open underneath the basket, but really reluctant to take the 15-foot jumper. Now here he's trying to move along the baseline. Good call by the officials. Nearly got in position to draw it, but not quick enough.
Indiana trailing 2-0 in their early going. This is Patterson. William Gladness, the junior college transfer. Rucker had it taken away by Heldman.
Rucker got the basketball, but he brought it down, and that made it available for Heldman to knock it away. You get that basketball inside underneath the glass, you'd better keep it up.
Hester swings loose of Charlie Miller. Patterson, good position to the rebound that time. A.J. Guyton. Oh, nice dish inside, but the field goal will not count. Offensive foul called on A.J. Guyton on the drive.
Well, there's always the risk of that when you go up in the air to pass the basketball. Excellent move to get open, but then floating in the air, you have no control. You have no ability to stop. So good anticipation by the defender to pick up that offensive charge. But on that play, you certainly got a view of Guyton's quickness.
And the way he can break down a defense, Greg, and that's something that Illinois really doesn't have. They must execute their offensive sets to get production from their offense a little bit more so than a team that has a player who can just take over in the final seconds in and drive to the basket. G guilty of a travel here. That's a turnover, Illinois.
Well, as you look at G, he has improved his range. He can shoot it from about 15 feet from the basket. But clearly, he is the one guy that they might be able to go into the post and get some dividends with should they decide. And I think at some point they've got to look at that option.
Illinois 7-0 here at home this season. Actually 6-0 on this floor, 1-0 up in Chicago at the United Center. Gladness knocked it off of Johnson. Good save on his part.
Here you see Gladness trying to go baseline on Johnson. Everyone thinking they can take Johnson. Johnson's a pretty good defensive anticipator. I don't think his foot speed is all that quick, but he certainly has an idea of where his player wants to go.
Boy, tough pass through traffic. Patterson comes up with it, still under pressure, and a turnover, Indiana. Bob Knight not happy. His team hasn't scored. We're almost 3 minutes into the first half. Of course, when have you seen a shot of Bob Knight during a game where he looks totally happy?
Not during a game.
Not during. Kevin Turner, nice smooth jumper off the right wing. His first 2 points of the game. Illinois has scored the first 4 in this contest.
Turner's a rhythm shooter. He's one of 2 in this game, so it has to bode well for Illinois that he can get one of the early shots to go down.
Jarrett G, the steal.
And a vicious finish. But again, you've got the Illini up. They're playing that tight, tough, aggressive man-to-man defense that we've come to expect from Indiana. They're showing that Indiana's not the only defensive team on the floor.
Lon Kruger said we're not really a good pressing team, but they've forced Indiana into 3 turnovers here in the early going. Patterson down low, blocking foul coming up on Johnson, and that's his second personal foul. Watch the steal by Jarrett G moments ago. Good anticipation there, Greg.
It was good anticipation. A poor pass by Indiana. That's the 3rd turnover by Indiana. And G, loving to dunk, gets a good one off.
So Johnson with 2 personal fouls for Illinois has to leave the ball game. And Avi Story, who at 5 of 5 from the field of UCLA, a freshman, comes in for Illinois for the first time. Luke Recker to the right hand. Story the rebound.
You get in that close, you have to finish. Maybe Recker anticipating some contact that never came, lost his concentration on the hoop.
Almost 4 minutes deep in this first half. Indiana has yet to score. Elvin got baseline. Turner bottled up by Gladness. 10 to go on the shot clock. Hester to Jarrett G. G with a force. And finally, Miller picks up for Indiana. A.J. Guyton. Six nothing Illinois. 15.5 to go. First half. Patterson, the senior. Tough shot. Recker boxed out by Heldman right to the baseline.
And they're still tangled up down there.
Story on the drive. And the follow is good by Jerry Hester.
6 bodies on the floor. 4 on the offensive end, 2 down on the other end where Heldman was blocking out. The game is becoming very physical. This is typical Big Ten.
Indiana scoreless at the outset.
Indiana really wants to get it on the inside, but the inside is not available. The Illini playing great defense.
5 minutes gone by first half. Guyton breaks him down on the drive. Left it short. Jarrett G up for rather Avi Story up for the rebound. Turner, the pull-up three. Ring it up.
That's confident. Anytime you come down in transition on the dribble and you pull up in your man's face from three-point land, you've got, number one, freedom, and you've got confidence.
Kevin Turner picking up where he left off at UCLA. Bob Knight's team yet to score. Better than 5 minutes gone by in this first half of play. A 20-second timeout taken on the floor. As you get a look at some of the physicalness that we've seen in this first half so far. Matt Heldman, the point guard for Illinois, making like a big man on the block down low.
Heldman held his man down on the floor and would not let him get anywhere near that basket. But the Illini are really confident right now, and this crowd playing a big part in it. The crowd is very much in this game, and Indiana has to figure out a way to get them out of it.
And again, a sellout crowd on hand, but the students are not back in school, so you don't have as many students surrounding the court area here at Assembly Hall, but it's been an enthusiastic crowd at the outset of this ball game.
And how about the field goal shooting? 5 of 9. That's good for 56% from the Illini. And, of course, 0 for 4 right now, Indiana.
And you get a look at 9 shots to 4 for Indiana. 9 shots for Illinois, so they've had more than twice as many attempts at the basket. Now the pressure in the backcourt, and this has bothered Indiana, and the pressure did bother them in that ball game against Iowa. A.J. Guyton. And what do we have here? A little hand check, or this is off the ball.
Yeah, it's going to go on McClain, number 40. Playing defense a little too aggressively off the ball.
Sergio McClain, the freshman, just into the ball game, picks up his first personal foul. Illinois up by double digits.
Unbalanced floor, lost from three-point range early on the shot clock and knocks it down. Yes, he's very confident, and right now that shot helped propel their line after the 11-0 lead.
And you get a look at the shooting so far in this ball game. Kevin Turner at UCLA was 8 of 13 from the arc, and here today 1 for 2. Indiana ball. 14.5 to go, first half. A.J. Guyton, Charlie Miller on the floor, Luke Rector, Andre Patterson, and William Gladness, the starting lineup for Indiana. Here's Patterson over Chukudebe. Miller kept it alive. Guyton had it stripped for a moment. Tough shot again. Every shot has been tough for Indiana. Illinois really playing hard defensively, Greg.
Every shot has been contested.
Turner that time dead on the three-point attempt.
See, the problem with that, Turner came down a moment ago, hit the early three-pointer, and it went in, so you're okay with it. But when he comes down and misses early on the shot clock, it's tough because now you don't make the Indiana Hoosiers have to work on defense.
William Gladness with the first field goal of the game for Indiana. Came better than 6 minutes gone by in this first half. Turner again from the outside. How long do you keep the light green? Or do you put a yellow up there?
Hey, another miss, and he may find himself on the bench because his shot selection is coming far too early on the shot clock.
Patterson over the back, guilty of the foul. First foul on Andre Patterson. The lone Indiana score of the afternoon.
And it took almost 7 minutes for it to occur. But what you see there is Indiana getting it inside, and this is something that they're trying to do each time down the floor.
Patterson just has been surrounded. Whenever they've gone to him, the Illini have doubled down on the ball. Chukudebe. Story from the outside got the kind roll off the rim.
He certainly did, and that's really not his strength, but he got that one to go. Story, he gained some confidence in that UCLA game as well. He had 5 of 5 shooting, 11 points, all in the second half.
Patterson on the block, quick jump into the lane. Nicely done.
Well, Patterson's very good at catching the ball in the post and then putting it on the floor to improve his offensive position. That time caught it on the right side, but shot it almost on the left side of the key area.
Sergio McClain and Avi Story, 2 freshmen in the lineup now for Illinois. This is Heldman off the screen. Heldman hits for 3.
The rim is kind, at least on that end of the floor. And you got Matt Heldman last year exclusively a 2-guard with Keon Garris handling most of the ball handling chores. Now he's having to find a balance in terms of getting his own offense and passing the ball to his teammates.
Kevin Turner makes Indiana pay for the turnover.
And thus far in this game, I think Heldman has done a good job. He's got his own shot off on a couple of times. but for the most part, he's been setting his teammates up.
A.J. Guyton lifts a tray.
Yeah, he's got to be able to provide that. Guyton's got to give them, as much as Illinois has to get some interior play at some point in this game, Indiana's going to have to get some outside play because right now, everything is packed inside, taking away their inside game.
Feldman off the dribble, got to the bucket, didn't finish. Guyton on the run, 2-on-1. William Gladness.
Well, it wasn't the prettiest nor the smoothest fast break opportunity, but finally an easy basket for Indiana.
In the deficit down to 9 as far as the Hoosiers are concerned. Lon Kruger is going to make a couple of changes, so are the Hoosiers. McLean to Turner again for 3. His second tray has 10 points in this first half. 2 of 5 from the arc, 4 of 7 from the field. Recker's been quiet in this ball game so far. Charlie Miller, a little jab step. Patterson can hit that. Here's Luke Recker. And a foul.
How about that? Did you see Luke Recker get the rebound and then went in, found contact to get the three-point opportunity? This was just a superb play. Here you got the outside shot and then going to the rebound right there. Now watch him go in, get that contact just a little bit, just a little piece of the defender to get himself to the free throw line.
Kevin Turner picks up the foul.
Excellent job that time by Recker and a much-needed three-point chance for Indiana. This could pull them to within 9 once again.
Luke Recker heading to the free throw line is Bob Knight. Ushers William Gladness to the bench. And Recker puts in on the three-point play. 10:41 left to go. It was a slow start for Indiana, but the Hoosiers beginning to make a run as we near the halfway point. Thank you very much, Mike Gleason. Well, Marquette, nationally ranked, off a bit slowly against Louisville. Here, the Indiana Hoosiers didn't score until there were almost 7 minutes gone by in the first half. Yet now they have trimmed the Illinois lead down to 9. Set the lineups for you. Heldman at the point for Illinois. Johnson, G, along with Jerry Hester and Arius Davis on the floor for the Fighting Illini. G driving in close and drew contact for the foul. The foul is on Larry Richardson, his first, third on the team. Today's Big Ten game is brought to you by GTE, official telecommunications consultant to the NCAA and the Big Ten corporate partner. Jared G at the free throw line out of Chicago, Illinois.
Well, if you're Indiana, you got to know when Jared G catches the ball out on the perimeter, he likes to take it to the basket, but he usually goes to his left. I've yet to see Jared G put the ball in his right hand and go to the right side. So you have to shade him in that area and force him to his weak hand. That time he was allowed to go left all the way to the basket and pick up a foul.
G with 3 points in the first half, and again some backcourt presence by Illinois. It hasn't really been an all-out press like you see the Iowa Hawkeyes work, but nonetheless the presence in the backcourt has been a problem for Indiana this first half.
Yeah, it really has. Look at the activity in the paint area. You've got 2 guys inside trying to post up for Indiana. They're working across the lane, setting screens for one another, but Illinois doing a real good job of communicating out on that floor and not allowing any passing lanes into the paint area. Johnson
picks up his 3rd personal foul for Illinois. So again, Lon Kruger has to make another substitution, and Avi Story getting set to report on, and he will in a moment as Charlie Miller goes to the line to shoot 2.
Well, that's a tough loss because, again, he's that intangibles guy you talk about. He's a smart player, does a real good job of finding the openings on the floor. Defensively, he's pretty sound, and now he's going to have to go out and probably spend the rest of this 10 minutes in this half on the bench.
Miller started today to take on Jerry Hester defensively, and now the substitution made. Johnson leaves, and Avi Story comes back on for Illinois. Story out of Chicago, a freshman. And there is Charlie Miller. Has had an up-and-down career at Indiana. Makes good on a pair at the line. The Hoosiers 3 of 3 at the free throw line. And they are back to within 8. Indiana's trailed by as many as 13 here this afternoon. Davis with a force trying to get it into G. Intercepted by Larry Richardson, and here come the Hoosiers. Michael Lewis lost it out of play. Heldman held his ground defensively once again.
You know, Heldman's a pretty good defender, and he knows where his opponent wants to go, so he gets over to that spot, takes it away. And, you know, Indiana, I think right now, trying to force things a little bit, especially getting it near the basket.
Hester guarded by Record. Hester looks a little tentative.
He really does. I was thinking the same thing.
He's not flowing very well in what he wants to do. Darius Davis. Indiana hustling defensively. 5 to go on the shot clock. Heldman notices it. Heldman trying to get a shot off the dribble. Charlie Miller, tough rebound deep on the lane.
Good job defensively and sealing the deal, getting that defensive rebound. Indiana, they played the full 35 seconds of defense that time.
9 minutes to go first half. Darius Davis with the foul. On him, his first. 6 on the team. And now some changes as William Gladness back on for Indiana. And into the lineup for the first time, Jelani Boline for Illinois. One more change. Andre Patterson is on for Luke Record in the Indiana lineup. 22-14. Good score off the inbound. Quick score for Indiana.
Now that's something that drives coaches crazy, when you allow your opponent to score on a baseline out of bounds.
Rob Turner with the score for Indiana, and the Hoosiers are back to within 6. Tough shot there for Story.
Remember we talked about Illinois needing to establish a presence on the inside. Well, early on they got their big lead because their outside shots were falling. But now those shots are not falling with the same consistency. And because they can't get anything near the basket, it's becoming very tough for them. And Indiana doing a sound job of climbing back into this game.
And really doing it on the defensive end. William Glimmers outside of Luke Record. And another quick substitution made by Bob Knight as A.J. Guyton is back on, replacing Michael Lewis in the backcourt for Indiana. Gladness came from a junior college program and had a little more structure to it than most JUCO programs. Guyton was taking off for the ball before he had it. Turnover, Indiana. Illinois retains possession.
They retain possession, but if you're Indiana, you have to feel a little bit more comfortable with the fact that your defense is working. You know, yes, they started out hot. The crowd was in it. A lot of emotion are flowing for Illinois, but all of that has settled down now. Now, if you're Indiana, you just continue with your defensive effort and clean up on the glass, and you can get yourself right back into the game.
Jerry Hester with a chip shot. Good penetration that time by Kevin Turner, set it up.
There's a sound inside opportunity, and as you said, it was good penetration and a nice decision at the hoop by Turner. Had he tried to shoot it, it probably would have been blocked, but he gave the extra pass off to Hester.
And the scoop in close by William Gladness. Good interior ball movement by Indiana on that trip. 6-point lead, Illinois. Coming up on 7.5 to go first half. This is Hester. Hester manufactures a tough shot in close. He now has 3 from the field and 6 points.
They won't come any tougher than that. That was completely off the dribble. Hester creating for himself. But the last 2 buckets, especially that first one off the pass from Turner, may have awakened Hester.
Absolutely. Maybe he'll start to feel a little more comfortable out there.
Right. And now zone defense by the Illini.
And it looks like a push inside as it's a push on Patterson. So a timeout call. Patterson picks up the foul. His second, 4th on the team. Illinois has led throughout, and they lead by 8 right now. Take a look at the shooting. Much better for Illinois. Indiana got off to a slow start from the field. They've come back in the last 6 minutes or so. Jared G. looking to turn on Patterson. Good defense by Patterson. He held his position well.
That was a nice rebound by Gladness, who did not have inside rebounding position. He went right up over the the Illini player in front of him and got the rebound without fouling.
He's very athletic, isn't he? Good spring in those legs.
Yeah. Illinois continues to employ the zone defense.
Rob Turner with the skip pass into the corner. Luke Recker had it knocked away. 10 to go on the shot clock. A.J. Guyton for three. Patterson pushed off on Sergio McClain. That's number 3 on Andre Patterson.
That's a huge loss for the Illini, but look at McClain. McClain is a strong guy, maybe the strongest guy on the floor. You know, he only goes 6'3", but he's powerfully built. And when he puts a body on you, you've got a strong body on you. Here's the play right there, and you see Patterson getting a little contact and getting the whistle.
You know, you're right, he's 6'3", but boy, when you watch him, he looks much bigger than that, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Sergio McClain, the freshman out of Peoria Manual.
I think they call it playing big or playing large. Indiana with 8 turnovers now. The Illini have a superb job. Just 2 turnovers in the game.
G able to clear to Hester for 3. Big rebound by A.J. Guyton. Guyton, another Peoria schoolboy star. The runner by Rob Turner. McClain. Here comes Turner.
Boy, his confidence is just flowing right now. He's shooting the ball without a conscience. And when you're hot, when you're in a rhythm, that's okay.
Kevin Turner, 5 of 9 from the field. 12 points in the game. Illinois, a double-digit lead once again. This is Rob Turner. Luke Recker, the freshman.
Constant pressure on the basketball. It's a matchup zone right now by the Illini.
William Gladness, nicely done off the baseline. He has 8 points on 4 from the field. Gladness 4 out of 6 shooting.
That's a good shot for Gladness. You know, how many times do we see guys catch it at about 15 feet, and they're reluctant to take their shot? They want to get a little closer to the basket because they don't really have the confidence. But in this game, you've got to be willing to take that little 15-footer.
Turner well off the mark there. And that was considerably more than a 15-footer. And Indiana gets it back. Charlie Miller back on for Rob Turner. Take a look at the end of this sequence. There's the shot.
But did you see Turner pointing to his head? I think he's saying to himself, I got to be smarter. I got to take a better shot, a higher percentage shot. It's wonderful to have freedom, a green light out on the court, but you've got to use discretion.
Here comes Recker. Sergio McClain. This is Turner, and Heldman resets the offense. We're under 5 minutes to go first half. Illinois leads by 8. Illinois, very little movement offensively at the moment.
You got 2 guys posting up in there for the Illini.
Turner off the mark again. Indiana can close to within 6. A.J. Guyton, no, but he was fouled. I believe Victor Chukudebe helping out on that play, or was it Sergio McClain? I think McClain might have gotten hit with the foul. It was McClain.
You know, right now you've got so much activity going on in the paint area that even when Guyton is able to beat his man off the dribble, there's still resistance near the basket. Right now you don't have a lot of good spacing if you're Indiana.
There is Sergio McClain. He and A.J. Guyton competed against one another in their high school days in Central Illinois. Gladness rebounds the second miss. Guyton penetrates, no look, nicely done. Larry Richardson unable to finish.
Guyton's got to be careful each time he penetrates. He gets up in the air to pass it. Illini standing in there trying to draw a foul. That time he got very lucky and didn't pick up the foul.
3.5 to go first half. Illinois by 8. Kevin Turner for 2. A long deuce. 14 for Turner. The light remains green, and he's 6 of 12 from the field.
Well, look at McClain battling inside against number 33 Richardson. He's giving up 5 inches, but he's giving up no ground.
Miller pull-up 3. Sergio McClain in impressive fashion on the rebound. for three. Ring it.
You can give Turner the point, but you got to give a lot of credit to McClain, who's battling inside, undersized. But boy, he's doing a job in there. I'm really impressed with him.
Back up to a game-high 13-point lead for Illinois. Under 2.5 to go, first half. Gladness in traffic, nowhere to go. Here comes Hester.
Oh, man, did he fake out the defense that time? Totally. Excellent move by Hester. But you know what? Turner made it happen because he filled the lane. He forced the lone defender back for Indiana to have to concern himself with him. And then Hester with an excellent ball fake.
The Illinois run has given the Illini their biggest lead of this first half, 35-20 with 2:13 left to go. First half here in Champaign. So take a look at it. Jerry Hester and company on the move, but no look fake. And the twos.
Surging confidence on the offensive end as well.
A force by Guyton with time running down on the shot clock draws nothing but air. And Illinois takes over on the turnover. And Bob Knight, who saw his team get knocked away at home in the second half against Iowa, not happy with what he's seeing in the first half here. Lewis is back on the floor for Indiana. And he replaces Richardson. Illinois looking to add to its biggest lead of the afternoon.
Tell you what, it's not easy to tell. It's not very hard to tell who the #1 go-to guy for the Illini is. He's right there.
20 points for Turner. Another three-pointer, his fourth of the afternoon.
Everybody on the floor, they're looking for him. And he's coming off screens. He's running the baseline, getting himself open, and they're getting him the basketball.
Michael Lewis answers with a tray on the other end for Indiana. Lewis, the sophomore out of Jasper, Indiana. Under a minute to go, first half. Jerry Hester looking to create off the dribble. Hester diving in the lane. McClain batting away at it. Chukudebe had a shot at it. Record clears to Guyton. Guyton to Gladness. Nicely done.
It was nicely done and almost a must possession, a must make for Indiana, because they could have taken it down and taken the last shot of the half. But they decided to go early, so you almost put a lot of pressure on yourself. You have to score.
22nd timeout taken by Illinois. We'll take a look a few moments ago. Kevin Turner has been red hot.
Now, he'd already run the other baseline, the other side of the key area, and that time came all the way back to the opposite side, and it got him the basketball. This guy's feeling it. You know, it's been a week since they played UCLA, but he is suffering no ill effects of the layoff.
4 of 9 from the arc, and Lon Kruger was telling me that the thing about Turner is that it's not really a surprise to him that he's come out of the last couple of games, because he's seen it on the practice floor, where Turner is suddenly shooting every shot in practice like it's a game, and that can carry over to Saturday or Thursday or Wednesday or whenever you play your next game.
Oh, yeah. And I'm sure he's glad to be back home. Actually, it hasn't been a week. It's been a little over a half a week for the Illini, but Turner is feeling very, very confident.
Down to 8 seconds to go. Record denies that interior feed. They tie it up, and on the alternating possession, it'll give the basketball to Indiana with 4.3 seconds remaining. Avi Story, another one of these freshmen on the floor for Illinois. Bob Knight's team is trailing by 13, I should say. Record had it blocked, and the first half comes to a close. A very strong half for Illinois. The Illini led 11-0 early in this ball game, and they maintained the lead throughout. To the Big Ten studio for halftime, and Mike Gleason. Mike? Under 2 minutes to go, and we're tied at 69.
Boy, Indiana, their defense has been stellar, and you've got a hesitant Illinois team now on offense.
They have blown a 23-point lead. Hester looking for help. 10 to go on the shot clock. Heldman. Turner for 3. Ring it up.
Well, he picked a fine time to regain his stroke.
We haven't heard from Kevin Turner in better than 11 minutes, but that one gives Illinois a 3-point advantage.
Indiana shouldn't have to feel that they need a 3. If it's there, yes, but you don't force it.
Blocking foul at the baseline. Brian Johnson, who often gets position on that play, but not that time. His 4th personal foul. Kevin Turner with a career-high 33 points, and it came on this basket.
But see, it was preceded by good movement.
Yes.
He set himself up well off the screen on the baseline. I think it was G who set the screen. So it wasn't a wild, forced, hurried shot by Turner.
And again, Greg, as you mentioned, it also came with patience. Time winding down on the shot clock. Under 10 seconds to go that time. Michael Lewis hits on a pair. 1-point lead, Illinois. Boy, this has turned into a great one.
Yeah, it has.
A minute left to go. And a little touch foul committed on the play by Michael Lewis.
Not what Indiana wanted. Not at all. You're going to put Turner on the line. Turner shoots 69% from the free throw line. You had time, if you're Indiana that time, to make them work. No need to give them the freebie.
Now you send Kevin Turner to the free throw line. He is 2 of 2 from there so far today, and he's 69% on the season.
Well, he's doing a lot of thinking at that free throw line. Oh, gets it to go, however.
Kevin Turner makes good on his first. Each team with 1 timeout remaining. 59.4 left to go in the game. Kevin Turner, career high 34. Will he make it 35?
Crunch time, the last 5 points by Turner.
3-point Illinois lead. They're on their feet in Champaign. A.J. Guyton breaks him down off the dribble, draws the foul on Kevin Turner.
You know who never saw the ball? You never saw the ball nor the penetration, and that was Jared G. His back was turned to the basket, and he had to be the guy to help Turner on this play. Look at G, 32, right there. Never saw it.
Meanwhile, A.J. Guyton heading to the free throw line. %79% for A.J. Guyton at the free throw line coming into this afternoon's game.
Oh, and rattled that one, but still, you're 1 possession down. You've got to depend on your defense right now. If you're Indiana, you play solid defense for 35 seconds if necessary. You do not foul. From the Illini, I'm going to be patient.
Timeout, Illinois. 33.3 for the game. One Kevin Turner and 2 free throws have helped give Illinois its lead. Back on the floor for the Fighting Illini, Matt Heldman, Brian Johnson, Kevin Turner, Jared G., and Jerry Hester. Illinois basketball, 20 to go on the shot clock.
And you'll probably see Turner moving off some sort of baseline screen. I think he's the guy that should get the ball for them looking to take the shot, because obviously he's the most confident player on the floor.
G with a high screen. Turner off the dribble, left it short. Patterson rebounds, had it taken away by Turner. Knocked out of bounds, going to belong to Indiana.
I'm surprised Turner tried to beat someone off the dribble. That's really not how he got the majority of his 35 points in this game.
Illinois is out of timeouts. Indiana has 1 remaining. Rob Turner comes in place of William Gladness. So really a 3-guard offense for Indiana with 2 forwards. Recker and Patterson. Patterson a forward/center. 17.1 remaining. 2-point ball game. Lewis and Guyton in the backcourt. They want to get Guyton to finish this set. Patterson, tough shot, time winding down. Chukudebe, the rebound. Jump ball as time expires. The game is over. Illinois wins 74.